dream, the greatest thing that I've ever experienced is seeing other people succeed. And I want you to succeed, and I want you to know that life is full of ups and downs, and happiness doesn't just come and go. It's when you understand this next line. Ready? Run for the good and excellent things, but don't let the good and excellent things distract you or keep you from the most important things. Before we get into anything deeper on that level, I always open up with a couple funny stories. You know, when children saw me at school, they looked at me and they're like, "What happened?" And I go up to them and I say, "Cigarettes." And it's a great anti-cigarette campaign right there. Saved a couple people from lung cancer right there. But I didn't know what to do with all the attention. You know, even adults, they didn't know what to do with me. Do they shake my hand? And I say, "Nah, man, that's a waste of time. Just give me a hug." And so I hug everyone. I actually broke the Guinness Book of World Records for 1,749 hugs in an hour. My arms fell off. And the scary thing about hugging so many different people is anyone can just pick me up and take me home, right? Put me on your TV set box. What am I gonna do? Like, my wife will come after you. But I love just, you know, breaking the ice with people. And my parents always said, "Nick, you know you look different, and so do they, but they don't know that you're just like them until you start talking." And so I started talking, I started making jokes and saying, "Oh, isn't it a cold day today? You know, I can't feel my hands," kind of thing. And then that humor just exploded to actually some really cool, fun pranks. Can I tell you a couple pranks? We actually, in Dallas-Fort Worth area, on a plane to LAX, on a 6 o'clock in the morning flight, my friend was the pilot. So we actually arranged this in advance that I would actually dress up as the pilot and greet the passengers as they walked on the plane. Now, as you can imagine, it's an early morning flight, so everyone's half asleep. And everyone's kind of, you know, keeping to themselves and looking at the floor and walking down the jetway and sipping on their coffee. And then with the jacket of a pilot and the hat and the badge and everything, just outside the door of the plane, on the floor of the jetway, there I stand. And I say, "Good morning, welcome aboard, my name is Captain Nick Vujicic." And they're like, "What?" I mean, the caffeine just kicked in right there and then. Right? And I said, "Yes, we got some new technology." They're like, "No way!" We put some hidden cameras down the jetway, got some reactions. If you don't believe me, it's on YouTube. It was so funny. The kids are like, "Oh man, this is so cool, I'm gonna put it on Instagram." And then all the parents like, "Did you know about this?" "No, I didn't know about this." And they're like freaking out and stuff. Everyone's on the plane and my friend says, "Okay, come on board." And so I walk on the plane just like this, and you look down the aisle and everyone's head's like, and so I grabbed the microphone and I said, "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for boarding so fast." And they're like, "Oh my gosh!" Some people came to Jesus right there and then. Can I tell you the funniest story though? One day I was in the car and I'm at the traffic lights and this car comes up next to us. This girl's looking at me from the other car. She's looking at me like this. So I'm looking at her like this. So all she sees is my head from the side. So imagine all you see is my head. I grab the seatbelt in my mouth and I loosen it like this and then I can freely move. Now she's looking at me like, "Why are you eating your seatbelt?" And I'm like, "Oh man, this is gonna be so good." So imagine all you see is my head. I just did this. And she was like, so good. So good. Now, I'm not here to tell you stuff that ain't real. For me, what you see is what you get. And obstacles are obstacles. Barriers are barriers. But the people who overcome are the ones who not only persist, but the triumphant, victorious ones who understand that doing anything great, it takes a challenge. Anyone who ever did anything good or great or big understood that obstacles and barriers are not an impossible sticker stamped on your life. It is a challenge. And those who succeed in life, who become strong, who become courageous, who become victorious, are the ones who understand the power of choice. Now, we can't choose to be born. We don't choose when we're going to die. We just buried my father at 62 years old at pancreatic cancer 3 months ago. But we know that when you have faith and love, you find hope. And the way you live your life and choose to perceive things is such a great key for you to become who you want to be.
Yes.
The first thing though I want to ask you is, who are you? There was a previous speaker right here on this platform who mentioned gratitude. What is gratitude? Let me tell you, my parents always said, Nick, don't worry what anyone else says. You're beautiful, you're special. And I'm like, I don't want to be special. And it's hard to be thankful when you see sometimes other people who have more than you. And I went to school and people were bullying me and teasing me. It brought me to an attempted suicide. And it wasn't just because of bullying. It was because I convinced myself that I had no hope. I was certain I would never get married. Was I wrong or what? Absolutely. So good to be wrong sometimes, isn't it? So good to be wrong sometimes. I know you women are much more frequently correct and right than us men. I know there's some men here that are not. But I'll tell you right now, that in my life, I never thought I'd get married. And I thought to myself, even if I got married, even if I got married, I can't even hold my wife's hand. Well, today I realized I don't need to hold her hand. I just need to hold her heart. You don't need arms for that.
That's right.
How am I going to hold my kids when they're crying? Well, when they cry, they hug me. And I want you to know that beautiful things can come from your broken pieces when you give your broken pieces a chance. I'm not here to compare my suffering to your suffering. In fact, I always tell teenagers, I believe it's worse being in a broken home than having no arms and legs. You can have arms and legs, but not know two things. These are the two things I want you to walk away with. The truth of who are you and what do you want. For me, I convinced myself that I was not of same value and worth of other people because of how I looked. And my parents said, you know what, Nick, if no one's your friend because of how you look, well, they're probably not going to be the best friends anyway, because you want people who love you for you. Some of you don't even know what that means. Some of you don't even love you for you. Because when you get up in front of the mirror, all you see is sometimes negativity. And I tell you, man, it's always like this rat race of trying to find what happiness is. What is it going to take for us to look at ourselves and actually start seeing positive things instead of negative things? And I don't know about you, but for me, when I look at 8-year-olds, I love speaking in front of 8-year-olds. I speak in front of many, many crowds, and in front of an 8-year-old crowd, I said, hey guys, can I ask you a question? They're like, I said, have you ever been stressed? They're like, And I'm like, what's stressing you out? Homework is so hard. And my brother and my sister, they annoy me every single day. And my parents, they didn't give me everything I want. They're like, so stressed. And then you talk to 13-year-olds, and they're stressed. Oh, everything around me is changing. I didn't even know who I am anymore. My parents, they're freaking me out. They're like from another planet. They don't understand me. I don't understand them. I put a do not disturb sign on my door, and they still come into my room. They freaked me out. I thought I could trust my friends, and my friends, they backstab me. They invite me to the party, then they uninvite me to the party. I'm so sick of this. I'm so stressed. I need a boyfriend. Then you're 17, you gotta get out of high school. If I can just get into college and everything's gonna be what? Okay. You get into college and is everything okay?
No.
Now you get into college and now what do you need? Money! Oh, if I can just find a job, then everything is gonna be okay. You finally get your job and is everything okay?
No.
No, you look at your boss after 2 days in the face. And you look at your boss and you look to the heavens and you say, really? You gave me him? I hate him. He stresses me out. And then all the single people. Oh, when I finally find the one, ¿dónde está mi Romeo? When I find my Juliet, then everything's gonna be what? Okay. No. Go talk to some married people. If you ain't happy single, honey, you ain't gonna be happy married.
Woo, you better preach! Preach!
Someone even gave me a standing ovation for that one. That's hilarious. Those are the married people clapping. So who are you? Are you thankful? If you're writing down principles, put this down. Attitude of gratitude. Attitude of gratitude. Be thankful. I am so thankful for my foot. And I realize it's not a season where therein I reach happiness. It's not even such a circumstantial change that enters into a season of joy, of peace, of purpose. When you have an attitude of gratitude, that is the foundation. For me, this foot, I love this foot. I got 2 toes. Peace, how you doing? When the doctor saw me for the first time, my parents had no idea that I was going to be born this way. And when I was born, I mean, no one knows why I was born this way. My doctors don't know why I was born this way. My parents don't know why I was born this way. Lady Gaga sure don't know why I was born this way. Man, when I was born, I said, surprise! The doctor said to my parents, he will not walk. He will not go to school. He will not even be able to probably stand up. He will be a vegetable in bed for the rest of his life. That is what the doctors said. And my parents told me, you don't know what you have till it's gone. First things first, be thankful. And if you don't have a loving family, now you know what a family should be. What people do to you doesn't determine what you should do for others.
Yes.
You are in control of the choices you make. And I'm sorry if you've been in an abusive home or non-supportive home, or you have something very difficult that you're going through. But the fact that you're alive today and listening to me, you've got life.
Woo!
Be thankful for life. And I'll tell you, when I hurt my little foot playing soccer, I was so thankful for my foot. I mean, I was in bed for 3 weeks looking at the ceiling at age 13 and thinking to myself, man, I don't like being disabled. She got it. I thought I was handicapped until I realized how much I had. What you gotta understand is, what do you have? Ready? If you want to know if you have an attitude of gratitude, here's the greatest exercise you can do. Imagine, from now, you have 15 seconds to breathe. 10. Who haven't you hugged for a while? Who haven't you thanked that you should have thanked? Who haven't you said sorry to? What haven't you even forgiven yourself of? I stand before you without arms or legs, but you know it's the matters of the heart and the mind that really either hold you back or take you to the next altitude. With the permission of the person sitting next to you, go ahead, give them a high five or give them a hug now.
I'm going this way.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got to make your call. Is tomorrow promised for anyone? Then make today count. Everyone say, make today count. One more time. Make today count. Just today is all you got. Make it count. The second thing my parents taught me, you don't know what you can achieve until you try. Pretty simple, isn't it? Let me show you what courage is. I'm gonna jump off this table, do a backflip, and land on the stage, okay? You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm joking, man. Are you serious? If I did that, I'll break my arm or something, alright? There is no point in me jumping off the table. But when there is a point of purpose, the game changes. What do you want? What do you want? For me, I wanted to survive and then I wanted to thrive. And if you see this table here, towards my future is this way. The truth of all that I could be. The truth of what I could achieve. But you need to know again who you are on one last level. You see, if you take out my tongue, take off my ears, burn my skin, and take out my eyes, I'm still Nick Vujicic. If I never was a speaker, real estate investor, yeah? Stock market investor, singer, actor, songwriter. If I never went on 2,500 airplanes, met 16 presidents, spoke to 9 governments, and was on TV to 1.4 billion people, billion people, 700 million just in China, 700 million outside of China, 15 years of work. We want to reach the world. We're at 1.4 billion. If that never ever happened, am I still Nick Vujicic? Is there another Nick Vujicic? Is there another you? You are beautiful just the way you are. You don't need to be someone you're not. Be the best you that you can be and see what destiny is for you. My destiny doesn't have to look like yours, and your destiny doesn't have to do with my destiny. You. Don't compare yourself. Oh, I wish I was smarter. I wish I had a bigger head start. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. Stop wishing. See what you got. Be thankful for what you have. Know who you are and try. Just try. It's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. Remember, the great things of life take challenges. You don't need courage to win. You need courage to lose. And when you have courage to lose, at the worst case scenario, many times you have to fail before you succeed. When you fall down, get back up. Third point. When you fail, try again. Thomas Edison, he made the what? The light bulb. Anyone know how many times he tried? 10,000 times. I don't think I've even tied my shoelaces 10,000 times. What a big, fat failure. No? But he was successful. Step number 4, failure equals education. Some failures cost more, but it's all education. Leave what's behind, press forward. Don't let these lies say, oh, you're a failure, oh, you're ugly, you'll never do anything, just give up. Nah, man, those are just lies. To the face of lies. Lies, you can talk to the foot because the ears ain't listening. You turn your back on those lies and say, no, I'm beautiful just the way that I am. I'm going to do my best. I'm not a failure. I'm going to keep learning. And for as long as my heart has a burning fire for that dream, I will run after it.
That's right.
Do you want to hear the biggest dream I have? No? That's fine. In 15 years of travel, I've seen poverty. And one thing I did as a teenager is I put a child, an orphan from Africa, a photo of her on my mirror. Didn't know the girl, but I found the photo. And I knew what it represented to me. And every time I went to school during my teenage years, which were difficult years as well, I knew that no matter whatever happened that day, I knew when that day was done, I was one day closer to making a difference. When I went into real estate investing, I then gave away, after my first property, I gave away $28,000 cash, the rest of my savings, to African orphans at age 19.
Wow.
And that experience changed my entire life. And I'm not just someone who talks about dreaming big. Do you understand? I have governments. There is a government, I'm not going to tell you which government. The advisor, not here in America, but the advisor of a president, 50 of his advisors, he's asked me to lock me in a room with all of them and talk to all of his government for 2 days straight.
Wow.
It's unbelievable, unprecedented that this young kid from Australia who actually attempted suicide is now being asked advice from governments.
Woo!
And what we are talking about is an array of many, many things. But my biggest dream is to alleviate the suffering of humankind and helping nations become developed if they're not developed. Why is there 1.4 billion kids and women and men who don't have any fraction of what we have? Why can't we find 400 million people give $1 a day? It is establishing a vision. It's establishing trust. Then it's establishing infrastructure. It's not impossible to change the world. I'm sorry. It is not impossible to make a world-changing decision in your life. If a man without arms and legs is dreaming big, then what are you dreaming about? Put some steroids in your dream. Take it to the whole new altitude, because I'll tell you right now, things that may seem impossible are not impossible. Take one step at a time. When you see that obstacle, when you see that barrier, take it on as a challenge. That's the fifth thing. Obstacles equals opportunity. I'm going to give you 2 more points, and I'm going to share with you how my life applied every single principle in how I became a speaker. Number 6, dream big. Number 7, faith. Then put your pens down. I want to tell you how I became a speaker, because I'm sure it's going to help you in your consultation and your dreams as well. Would you like to hear about how I became a speaker? It wasn't my mom and it was not my dad. It was not a close friend who looked at me first in the eye and said, "You are going to be a speaker." Wasn't them. Guess who it was? The janitor at my high school.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? You know, people ask me, what do you want your sons to be? I said, I want them to have faith and I want them to be happy. I don't care if they're even a janitor, because the janitor changed my life to change millions of people's lives around the world. It's not about your job, it's who you are. It's when you're kind, it's when you're forgiving, it's when you're gracious, it's when you're patient, it's when you understand what it means to you when you go through a storm and a best friend stands by you. Are you a best friend for someone else, or do you only call on your friends when you need them? Sometimes you need to be a best friend to get a best friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta understand that you gotta be able to give when you don't even feel like you can give. Some of your chains that you're holding back, some of you women are absolutely handcuffed by what your father told you when you were 9 years old. And you haven't forgiven him. Maybe he's alive, maybe you're in contact, maybe he's not, maybe you're not in contact. Here's the key of leaving the past behind and being free, is to understand that sometimes you're going to have to forgive before they even say sorry.
Yeah.
Whether they say sorry or not doesn't really heal you. It makes it easier in some senses, but when you can forgive yourself, forgive others, live freely, and give, it's when the paradigm changes. It's when obstacles don't get in my way. I'm ready, bring it on. Because I know it's just going to make me stronger. I know it's going to make me wiser. I know that then when I don't get a miracle, listen to this, then I can still be a miracle for someone else. If you were abused, you're still here, you can maybe put a photo of someone on your mirror and pretend that one day, and I mean pretend in the most simplest way, imagine that you come across someone who's gone through what you've gone through, and you can say, hey, don't give up. I'm still here, and I love you, and I'll stand by you. That's when you start changing the world. And little did I know at age 24 that as I'm a speaker, I spoke in front of a group of people, and I saw a man hold up a little boy with no arms and no legs, just like me. And I looked at him and he looked at me, And I'm like, wow, 19-month-old Daniel, no arms, no legs, and a foot like me. And I'm like, wow, that's so cool. I'm gonna wrestle him later on. So I got him up on stage and he's looking up at me and I'm looking down at him and I can't give him a high five, so I gave him a low 2. And when he smiled, everyone cried. And it was incredible. My mom hugged his mom and cried. That's when you become a miracle for someone else. I saw my dad hug his dad and cry. That's when you become a miracle for someone else. And I told his mom, hey, when he goes to school and he gets bullied, I'm going to come to his school in my wheelchair and I'm going to run them all over. No, that's not what I said. But I went there and he was getting bullied and teased and I gave a 15-minute speech. Not only is Daniel now accepted, he is respected. Now in middle school, I'm going to go to his middle school. It is so cool when you can understand it's much bigger than what you see. It's much better when you focus on not just what you can get, but what you can give. That is when you live. So the janitor gave. And he said, Nick, you're going to be a speaker. I said, what? He said, you're going to speak. I said, you're crazy. What are you talking about? He said, you're going to make a living as a speaker. And I said, what am I going to talk about? He said, you're going to share your story. And I'm thinking, I don't have a story to share. He says, you have a story. I said, no, I don't. He said, yes, you do. He said, Nick, can I arrange a quick little gathering of students here in this school at lunchtime and you could just share your story? I said, you're crazy, man. Leave me alone. I walked away from him. Next day he sees me from a distance and he says, hey, Nick, speak. I said, no. I walked away. He started looking for me, man. I mean, he saw me, I saw him coming, I'm like, I'm running away from him. And he's like, speak. Like, get away from me, man. After 3 months, he twisted my arm and I said, yes. I spoke in front of 5 students. I was so nervous, man. My palms were sweating. My knees were shaking. And I just opened my mouth. And these people started crying. This one girl in particular, she's like, I'm like, what's wrong? She said, I don't know. I said, why are you crying? I don't know. I was just touched. I'm thinking, who touched her? She looked at me and you look someone in the eyes, which is the windows to their soul. And she said, I will never give up. You changed my life. And I'm like, really? Like I sucked. That's what I thought. I said, can we get your number? I said, for what? We're going to call you. For what? We want you to speak again. I said, are you serious? They said, I got these calls between ages 17 and 19. My dad always told me, Nick, you have no arms and no legs. You need to start your own business, get employees to be your hands and feet, get into stock market, get into real estate investing, and get into financial planning and accounting. He told me that at age 6. I mean, he's like, you're going to school, you're going to school, you're going to school, you're going to school, you're going to school. No one ever told me I could be a speaker, but I went to school. And I went into accounting and financial planning degrees and I graduated at 21. But at age 19, I got up in front of 300 sophomore students, my 12th speech. And man, I was at a public high school, you know, that crowd's not really forgiving. I got up in front of them and I spoke and this one girl put up her hand. She said, I'm so sorry to interrupt your speech, but can I come up there and give you a hug? And in front of everyone, she came and she hugged me and she cried on my shoulder and she said, thank you, thank you, thank you. No one's ever told me that they love me. No one's ever told me that I'm beautiful the way that I am. And that's when I knew I was born to be a speaker. And I knew that that was something worthwhile living for and failing for. They say you haven't found something to live for until you found something to die for. I don't want to die for anything. I'll die for my faith. But I'll tell you right now, I am living for my purpose. And my purpose is to help someone else understand there is hope. And I went back to Mom and Dad and said, Mom and Dad, I know what I want to be for the rest of my life. And my dad said, good. Finish school first. And I'm like, yes, Dad, I'll finish school. So my mom, right? She's like kind of more on my level of speaking, you know, and listening and talking kind of thing, not just one-way street. And my mom's like, so what you want to be? I said, I want to be a speaker. She stops, she said, what? I said, I want to be a speaker. She said, she crosses her arms like this. What you gonna speak about? I don't know. Who's gonna want to hear you speak? I don't know. She said, do you have any invitations? I said, no. She said, how are you gonna get them? I said, I don't know. She said, are they gonna pay for you? I said, I don't know. She said, I think you should really concentrate on what your father told you. Yes, Mom. But I still spoke. Then I spoke here and there, and I came back from a gig, and my mom's waiting up for me. She says, what is going on? I said, what's wrong? I don't know. These strangers, they pick you up, they take you in their car, you go for a couple hours, and when you come back, they're crying and you're smiling. What are you doing? So they didn't understand. She said, is this a hobby or a job? I said, it's a job. She said, are they paying you? I said, no. She said, then it's not a job. Listen to what your father told you. It's pretty straight up. But man, I tell you, I was ready for the challenge. And I didn't know what I was doing. Anyone relate to that? I'll say it again. I didn't know what I was doing. And I started from the beginning. Anyone relate to that? So I called a couple schools. Hello. Hi, my name is Nick, and I am a speaker, and I was wondering if I can come and speak at your school. No, thank you. Hung up. Is that a failure or a success? Do you want to talk about it amongst yourselves? I called the school to invite myself to speak. They said no. Failure or success? It's a failure, man. If it was success, you would have said yes, no? But it's okay to fail. Everyone say, it's okay to fail. So what did I do? Did I call them back? No, I didn't call them back. I called another school. Hello. Hello, my name is Nick Vujicic, and I have no arms and legs. What? I said, I have no limbs. She said, how are you holding a phone? I'm thinking, why is that important? They didn't believe me. They hung up. Another school said, please, if you don't have arms and legs, please do not come to this school because you'll probably just freak everyone out. Offensive? Yes. Is it my problem or her problem? It's her problem, baby. You leave that behind, you pick up the phone, you call another person. Woo! I called 12 schools, 22 schools, 31 schools, 41 schools, 45 schools, 52 schools said no. And on the 53rd phone call, I got better and better and better and better and better and better and better. Then on my 53rd phone call, it went like this. Hello. Hello, my name is Nick Vujicic, and I'm a motivational speaker, and I was wondering if I can come and speak at your school about bullying, self-esteem, dreaming big, and never giving up. Failure or success? Success. Is it okay to fail? Yes. You gotta just keep pushing through. Right. You gotta keep going. Man, but I tell you what happened. I got the address down, and then I'm like, uh-oh. I looked at the map, 2.5-hour drive there. Like, how am I gonna get there? Maybe if I start walking now, I'll get there on time. I didn't ask my parents for a ride, I asked my brother for a ride, and he said no, because he was too busy. They were ready as a school to pay me $50 for my speech, but little did I know, 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back, plus gas, and then I had to pay my brother $50 just to take me. Why? Because I couldn't afford to miss this opportunity. I got there and I was nervous because I didn't know how long did I have to speak. I should have asked that before. How many people are going to be there? I should have asked that before. I get there and I say, hello, wondering how long am I speaking for and in front of how many people? She said, no way that I drove 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back, 53 schools, paid the gas for my car, to pay my brother then as well. All this for this moment. And she said, oh, we want you to speak for about 5 minutes. My brother laughed out loud. I mean, he nearly died of laughter. I'm trying to compose myself. It's okay, maybe it's 5 minutes with a big crowd. She said, yeah, we have all of our leaders today, all 10 of them. And I'm like, what a failure. And all the voices came back. You're an idiot! You're a failure! This is stupid! You dream too big, you're crazy! You're gonna be an accountant. You're never gonna be a speaker. This was crazy. You're not even good. You didn't even know what you're doing. You're not even making any money. You're paying people to speak. You're an idiot. All while I was on the stage. I got off, got my $50, gave it to my brother, got in the car, and he's driving home. He doesn't care, he got paid. And he looked at me and I said, don't tell mom and dad. He said, okay. I got home, I decided, concluded, I would never be a speaker. The next morning, I woke up, my phone rang. I'm like, oh man, it's so early. What time is it? 8:30 in the morning? No, man, I'm not picking that up. Who's calling me? Second time. Third time. All right, I'll pick up the phone. I picked up the phone. Hello.
Oh, is this Nick Vujicic, a motivational speaker?
Yes. Hi, good morning. How can I help you? And she said, do you talk about bullying and never giving up? I said, I do. She said, you are awesome. I said, excuse me? She said, I heard you're very good. I said, thanks. She said, no, Nick, we want you at our school now. We just had this incident and this student did this and we just need you now. We heard that you're the best at speaking about bullying. And I'm like, what? She's like, how can we get you? We'll pay for you. We'll pay you $150. We'll put you in front of 150 people for 20 minutes. But Nick, how do we even do this? Where do we even begin? Because you're so good, we know that you must be so busy and we can't get on your schedule probably. And I said, let me check my schedule. And I said, how about next Friday? She says, perfect, oh my God, it's a miracle. And I'm thinking, no, it's not a miracle. I got up there and I spoke. People were changed. They gave me $150. My brother turned to me and said, you know what? I want to do this for free because you're changing people's lives. Now my brother Aaron moved from Australia to California for our educational resource company, our self-development, video, speaking, coaching, training platform. our film entertainment movie. We've started 3 businesses, me and my brother, but it's always based on making a difference. When you are making a difference along the way, that's what matters most. It doesn't matter about the money. It doesn't matter about what others think of you, but I will be most concerned about what your family thinks of you and how you love them along the way. Are there seasons? Yes. Is it difficult? Yes. But you can overcome. And I want you to look at your life as a victorious overcomer. Without any marketing, I have now 35,000 speech invitations that we have said no to. No marketing. You know what that is? A miracle. Miracles happen, my brothers and sisters. Miracles happen. It takes a lot of work. It starts with being thankful, then having courage to try, resilience to persist, to see failure as part of the journey, to then change your perception of obstacles as not impossible, but obstacles as opportunities, to then find the fire to dream big and bigger, and to finally never, ever, 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 ever give up on you. Rich or poor, healthy or sick, arms or legs or not, when you know who you are and what you want, you become unstoppable. You become free. You become rich on the inside. Seize every moment. Meet someone you haven't met today. Do something you haven't done yet. Dream big. And lastly, you can have the greatest conference of all. You can have the best speaker of all. Thanks. But until you actually put into practice what you've gleaned, until you do something different, until you start deliberately seeing things differently, things then will always be the same. What will you put up on your mirror? Will you get your lipstick out on your mirror and say, "You are beautiful"? Don't give up. Put a picture of something, someone. What do you want? Take one day at a time. Dream big. And I hope that my story has helped you to not just overcome obstacles, to not just succeed, but to find the truth of your value, your purpose, and your destiny, and to start a fire that ignites you to run after all that you want like never before. Thank you so much for having me.